I decided to give everything away for free. My entire sales methodology, all my frameworks, all my scripts, all my templates, all my Claude workflows and skills. 100% for free. Now, you might be thinking, why is he doing that? This is crazy. You cannot run a business this way. Well, it's 2026, and I genuinely believe that information is a commodity. 100% of the value and the results that you are getting from this video today is in your own execution. And I am uniquely positioned to help you because I've been a top performer at Salesforce for 5 years. And over the last 3 years, I have personally trained and coached over 500 sales professionals. And I am still working in the trenches today. I am a practitioner who generates his own pipeline and closes his own deals. And so if you are a VP of sales, a chief revenue officer, a CEO or founder who is either growing or scaling their sales team, this video is for you. What you're getting today is my very own Quota League Sales System that consists of 6 distinct parts. This sales system is not just another methodology like MedPick or Spiced or Winning by Design. It's also not a philosophy like Challenger Sale or Gap Selling. This is an end-to-end revenue architecture that will help you build and scale a high-performing sales team in 2026 and beyond. And so in today's video, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of what each of these parts consists of and why I think you should be adding that to your sales strategy. Let's dive right in. Number 1, positioning. Positioning is one of the most overlooked issues by sales leaders out there. Without a clear positioning, your buyers will see you as a commodity. They will look at you as something completely replaceable. It doesn't matter if you sell software as a service or the latest and greatest AI intelligence tool or even IT consulting. Without a clear positioning, your buyers are going to look at you as a commodity. And when they look at you as a commodity, competition is fierce, pricing is usually a race to the bottom, and you're never going to reach your growth ambitions. I'll give you an example for bad positioning. There are 16,000 people working at Salesforce with the title account executive. So if your LinkedIn headline says account executive at Salesforce, there's another 16,000 people that look just like you. But if your LinkedIn headline says CRM advisor for Swiss Series A startups, that's very specific. That is a niche that you can own. And by the way, that was my headline during my last 2 years at Salesforce when I was doing exactly this. I was selling our solution to VC-backed startups in Switzerland. What's important about positioning is that you own a specific niche that nobody else owns. You have to appear unique. It has to be clear what your USPs are. And the most important thing, you need to be telling your ideal buyers who you help and how you help them. Who you help so that they recognize themselves in your messaging, but also how you help them so that it's clear to them what is the outcome and what is the result that I can expect from working with Christian, for example. Positioning is the most upstream issue in your entire revenue architecture. And if your positioning is off, it doesn't matter whether you use MedPick or Spiced as a sales methodology. It also doesn't matter if your reps are doing cold calls or sending LinkedIn video DMs. You are not going to reach your growth ambitions if your positioning is not on point. Number 2, publish. And by that, I mean publish regular thought leadership content. This might be tough to hear for a lot of sales leaders, but if regular publishing is not part of your sales strategy today, you are not going to reach your targets. And it's because the traditional silos between marketing and sales have evaporated. In 2026, Buyers go through 80 to 90% of their entire decision-making process without speaking to sales. Buyers actually aren't even Googling you anymore. They ask their favorite LLM, so ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, perhaps Perplexity AI. They ask their favorite LLM to build a short list of vendors. That's how they start their evaluation process. And if you are not on that short list, you already lost the deal. What's interesting is that LinkedIn.com is the number 2 domain searched by the LLMs. And it's only second to Reddit.com, which is probably one of the biggest rabbit holes of the internet and not necessarily a serious platform to publish thought leadership content. So what we're left with is really LinkedIn as the number 1 domain where you need to be present as a vendor. What happens if you don't publish on LinkedIn and you focus your team entirely on outbound? Well, what happens is that they only capture the 3% of your total addressable market that is ready to buy today, and they're going to neglect the other 97% of your total addressable market that are just not ready. So you would be missing out on huge potential if you are not regularly nurturing that other 97% of your ideal buyers with regular thought leadership content. And why is that? It's because every buyer has to go through 5 stages, from unaware to aware to consideration to evaluation and finally decision. Here's what this means in simple language. It has to be absolutely mandatory for every single rep in your go-to-market organization to post at least once a week on LinkedIn. This is not optional, this is mandatory. Number 3, prospecting. This might be disappointing for a lot of people out there, but it's not enough to nail your positioning and publish regular content. You also have to reach out to your prospects proactively. But prospecting has changed a lot over the last few years. I'm not talking about cold outbound, because we know that the response rates on cold email are probably around 20%, which means that if you send 10 cold emails, 8 of those emails end up somewhere in the abyss. And we see that cold call pickup rates hover around 5%. So it actually takes 20 dials just to connect with one prospect. So what we are seeing is that the classic spray and pray, smile and dial cold outreach is working less and less every single year. And that means that your outbound sales teams have to work harder and harder every single year just to get the same results. So what does modern prospecting look like? The best sales teams out there, they capture and harvest the demand that they've generated through their positioning and regular publishing. I'm talking about trigger-based, signal-based prospecting. Things like checking LinkedIn profile views, monitoring who's actively posting and engaging with likes and meaningful comments, checking who has changed jobs recently, checking who are our best customers and partners that we can ask for referrals and warm introductions. Modern prospecting is low volume, high quality, and high conversion. But most sales leaders are actually scared to embrace this. The best prospecting funnels have LinkedIn as the top of funnel layer and have calls and email and video DM follow-ups as the middle of the funnel to finally convert those interests and leads and signals into meetings at the bottom of the funnel. Modern prospecting is all about sending the right messaging through the right channel to the right person at the right time. Number 4, pipeline. Most sales teams do not have a closing problem. They have a pipeline problem. They usually don't have enough leads, or their sales reps aren't booking enough meetings. And let me tell you this, once you fix your positioning, you start publishing regularly, and you have a system in place to harvest the demand that you've generated, you're probably going to be 80% there. However, I would say in 99% of the cases, there's still going to be room for improvement in order to increase your average deal size, shorten your sales cycles, and increase your win rate or your conversion rate on your pipeline. Here are some ways to increase your win rate. Disqualify harder. Be crystal clear on who your ideal customer profile is. Train your reps on identifying solution fit, but also real need. And stop working on unqualified deals and meetings because they take time away from the qualified deals that your reps need to be focusing on. The beauty is once you generate abundant pipeline, it allows you to actually detach and focus just on those deals that matter. The lesson here is disqualify harder. Now, here are some ways how you can shorten your sales cycles. Coach your reps to start looking for compelling events, reasons that will create urgency for your buyers to act. Also train them on uncovering the cost of an action, or in other words, the quantified business pain, because that's ultimately what creates urgency. Is the customer missing out on revenue? Are they incurring increased cost? Or is there a real risk, may that be cybersecurity risk or regulatory risk, that forces your prospects to act? And finally, make sure to implement mutual action plans in your sales motion. Mutual action plans are some of the best ways to disqualify prospects who aren't really committed, and it sets every sales cycle up for success. Without going too deep into it, a mutual action plan is a mutual agreement that your sales reps make with their buyers on what are exactly the steps of the sales cycle that we're going through. So POC, discovery, demo, proposal. Also, who are the people that we have to involve at every single step? So champion, technical buyer, economic buyer, legal, purchasing, or procurement. And finally, what does the timeline look like? When are these meetings going to happen? How much time in between? And most importantly, when is the signature date? And finally, here are some ways to increase your average deal size. Teach your reps to slow down at the beginning of the sales cycle. There's nothing worse than rushing from a discovery straight into a demo or into a POC. Allow them to slow down and be curious. Ask deep pain-related questions. Ask impact-related questions to truly understand, is this just a little pain point that the buyers experience? Or is this a huge pain, right? Because nothing is worse than competing against the status quo where the deal ends up in no decision. Now, finally, we also have processes and people. These are the two operational layers for sales managers, directors, and VPs to run and build a high-performing sales team. And we're going to cover those in a future video. Now, here's what you can expect over the next few weeks and months on this YouTube channel. I'm going to do a deep dive into every single component of the Quota League Sales System. And as mentioned earlier, I'll be giving everything away, all my frameworks, all my templates and scripts, Claude, workflows and skills and prompts, all the good stuff to hopefully help you build and scale a high-performing sales team in 2026 and beyond. If you liked this video and if you found it helpful, please leave me a like. And if you have any questions, make sure to put them under this video in the comments. I personally answer every single comment under these videos. And finally, if you are interested in working together with me to help you build a high-performing sales team in 2026, check out the description below the video, and there will be some ways for you to learn more and also get in touch with me. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.